Hey, Clear Lake peeps. Ross England with Clear Lake Guide Service with your fishing and conditions report here for Clear Lake. This will be for Thursday, February 3rd. Hard to believe we're already into February, but that's what it says. I launched here today for the first time and I didn't have any trouble at all. So as you can see, not much of a crowd down here. I actually think I was the only boat in here today. I know a couple of locals have been launching over here, but please bear with me. I kind of woke up with a tweaked back and running around out here letting Clear Lake be Clear Lake today. It kind of, I'm ready to go home. It was just a bad day at the office, so we'll leave it at that. Today was one of those days where I knew I shouldn't have gone the way my back felt. But I tested it, and let's see if I can get this right. The test didn't come out very well, so I'm hurting right now. Boat performed admirably. It's the first time I've had the boat in what I'd call some really, really rough water. Good solid 2-footers. First time I got wet in it, but overall, still super happy with what happened today. My back wasn't a condition of the boat ride, that's for sure. Okay, here we go. Lake level, pretty much unchanged. We haven't had any rain. A couple of the creeks up here on the the south side of the lake, you know, up here where I am, Kelsey, Adobe, Manning, they're not running. There's a little bit of water coming down Kelsey, but Adobe has dried up, and so's Manning. So no water coming in from there. So the lake level remains static at about, we'll just round it off and call it plus 0.5 Rumsey. Don't see any changes coming this coming week. In fact, it looks like next week we're going to be up in the 70s for a period of time. Although there's a long-range weather discussion that talks about getting into a more normal weather pattern the second half to late February. So we're holding out hope, so we'll see. So lake level is static. Water temperature, you know, over the last 2 trips I've been out, I've found it to be, we'll call it between 48 and 49 and a half. Kind of depends on where you are. The water color still remains a goofy brown. You know, I'm not going to call it dirty. I'm not going to call it clean. You can see probably 2 to 2.5 feet, at least where I've been, which is decent, but not normal for this time of year. So I haven't seen watercolor anywhere that would stop me from fishing. And in fact, on the upper end of the lake, some of that dirtier water on these sunny days when it's calm, that water temperature starts to climb a little bit quicker than the rest of the lake. So that's not a bad thing. So I think that pretty much covers all of our conditions. No change in launch ramp status. Like I said in previous videos, we'll talk about that less and less, unless all of a sudden we get to 9 feet and they talk about closing them again. Wouldn't that be something after this year? Again, I launched at the state park today. No problems at all. Lucerne is still out of the water. Haven't been over to Keeling, so I can't say for there. So there's your launching most of the water conditions. Fishing, I'll tell you, the last 2 times I've been out, it has absolutely been brutal to me. I know that there are people catching fish. I'm not one of them. It depends on the day. I know a couple of places that I can go to, just spots where fish are roaming around, and if I wanted to sit there for 4 or 5 hours, I could probably scratch out a limit or so. And that limit would probably be in the 16 to 18 pound range, you know, unless I was lucky enough to get a 5 pound plus fish. I've talked to some others who have had better days than I have, and that's just the way it goes up here. This has not been my winter, so I'm still kind of scrounging around. I know some of the live bait people are doing okay. I haven't really heard that they've been, you know, lights out or anything like that, but it sounds like it's been at least a consistent bite. And some of that bite is up on the upper end of the lake, which is kind of where you would expect it to be for this time of year, as well as in the deeper water down south. The fish that we have been able to catch have been in the 15 to 25 foot range for the most part. I mean, there's a few exceptions, but not very many. I know there's still a lot of guys and a lot of fishing pressure going on down in the Rattlesnake Arm. We've kind of been bouncing all over the place, so I've been trying a little bit up on the upper end of the lake, and I'll try again if I feel better when I wake up tomorrow morning. Tomorrow or Friday, we're going to give it another shot and see if we can get up on the upper end of the lake and do a little bit of damage up there. But for me, the fishing is still tough. I just have not bumped into them. I know I'm still getting some people asking about the crappie. I just can't give you a good answer on them. The metering I did today, I never saw any, but I've talked to people who have seen them, who have caught some. I think the idea of coming up here right now and catching 100 plus crappie in a day, I just don't see that happening. You know, in good years on Clear Lake, you can come out here and 2 or 3 people can sit and whack on them for a while and catch 250 fish, you know, just catching, releasing, and saving a few for a meal. But this year's not that way, so there's a lot of reasons for it, and I don't know which ones are right, but let's just suffice it to say that at this point, I'm pretty much waiting until spring before there's any interest in trying to chase down any crappie. And honestly, hopefully I'll be busy enough to where I won't have time to do it, just chasing bass. So, oh, activities. I missed out on that, so sorry. The this coming weekend is free. There's nothing scheduled, but the following Saturday, there is an ABA tournament scheduled. So that's in 2 weekends. So you got this weekend free, and then I don't know how big of an event they'll have. It'll probably be, I think they've run in the 30 to 40 boat range. Hopefully it'll get a kickstart, and you know, they'll get up in the 60 boat range, something like that. But anyway, be prepared for that. That's the only thing coming, and it's in a couple of weeks. So my back is really starting to hurt. This is the end of it. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks.